Hello everyone. Today I am going to talk about disinfection of water. This is a process of killing microbiota in the water is known as disinfection or sterilization. What are the strategies of disinfection? There are three basic strategies of disinfection: keeping the microbial population out of water source, treating water to remove contaminants, maintaining safe water in the distribution system. Components of disinfection. The primary disinfection, here the inactivation of microorganisms in the water. The secondary disinfection, maintaining the disinfectants residual in the distribution system. The methods of disinfection, there are mainly two methods: physical method and chemical method. What is chemical method of disinfection? Here the chemicals like free chlorine, combined chlorine, ozone, chlorine dioxide, etc. are used as a disinfecting agents. In physical disinfection, the ultraviolet rays or ultraviolet radiations are used as disinfecting agent. The chemical disinfection kinetics. Harriet Chick in the year 1908 documented the microbial inactivation by phenol, mercury chloride, and silver nitrate. And he stated that a single unit of microorganism exposed to single unit of disinfectant, the reduction strategy follows the first order reaction. That is given by an equation dN by dt is equals to minus k into n equals to n naught e to the power minus kt. N is a number of microorganisms and K is Chick's law constant. T is contact time and N naught is initial number of the microorganisms. Then comes to mechanism of disinfection. What is mechanism? Here, any agent, either it may be a chemical or physical agent of disinfection, the following actions will take place: either piercing the cell membrane of a microorganism, or inactivating the RNA of the microorganism, or inhibit the enzyme activity. That is how the disinfection will take place in microbes. The chlorine disinfection. This is the most widely used because it is effective at low concentration, inexpensive. It forms residual so that the future contamination can be eliminated. The drawbacks of this chlorine disinfection is it forms trihalomethanes, which are highly carcinogenic. Chlorine application. The chlorine is applied as a disinfectant either in gaseous form or in solid form as hypochlorite. The chlorine gas combines with water, it will form hypochlorous acid, HOCl, and hydrochloric acid, HCl. HOCl is highly dissociative or unstable in nature. Again, it will form H ion and hypochlorite ion. The hypochlorous acid is favorable at pH below 7.5, and the hypochlorite ion is favorable above pH range 7.5. Now, you see the graph here, the HOCl is showing the better efficiency in the range of pH below 7.5. Similarly, the OCl, hypochlorite ion, is showing the efficiency more than 7.5 pH range. An application of Cl2 as a solid and as liquid. CaOCl2 is a solid form of chlorine which can be applied to the water, then it will form cation Ca and again hypochlorite ion OCl minus it will form. Similarly, the liquid sodium hypochlorite dissolve in water, again it will form sodium ion and hypochlorite ion. But OCl is equilibrated with HOCl. HOCl is more effective disinfectant than OCl. However, both are excellent disinfectants. HOCl reaction with ammonia. As you know, the raw water contain the ammonia compounds also. Therefore, HOCl reacts with ammonia. It will form monochloramine, dichloramine, and trichloramine. Monochloramine is favoring at pH greater than or equal to 6. Dichloramine favors at a pH equal to 5. And trichloramine or nitrogen trichloride is highly dissociative or highly unstable. It will form nitrogen again. These chloramines are known as residual chlorine. They are very good or effective against the bacteria, but very less effective in case of viruses. These chloramines contribute to chlorine residual along with residual free chlorine, HOCl and OCl minus. The chloramines are long lasting in the distribution system. The chlorine with organics. The chlorine also reacts with organics with the phenol to form chlorophenol. Strong taste and odor it will produce with the natural organics matter NOM to form trichloromethane and trihalomethane. These are all the disinfectant products. CHCl trichloroform, CHCl to be our bromo dichloromethane. Similarly, bromoform. These are highly carcinogenic in nature. The breakpoint of chlorination. Chlorine dosage is determined as to ensure the adequate residual known as breakpoint of chlorine. It is determined in the laboratory by conducting experiments and chlorine is applied. So the residual chlorine versus the chlorine dosage, if we plot a graph, then a curve we can get. The first portion of the curve here in the graph shows predominated by the chloramines. The second portion of the graph shows where straight line is there that predominate by the free chlorine. The lowest point of the curve indicates the residual chlorine. What is chlorine demand here? At first, inorganic reducing chemicals like NO2, H2S, Fe, and so on will be converted by the action of chlorine or HOCl. After satisfying the demand of those inorganics, it will react with ammonia and form chloramines. Again, the chloramines is available in the water as a combined residual chlorine. With the increase of chlorine dosage, it favors dichloramine over monochloramine and then trichloramine over dichloramine. The trichloramine is highly unstable and break down into N2 and reduces to chlorine residual. Low point of chlorine residual is known as the break point. Further addition of chlorine adds to the free residual chlorine. The design dosage of water treatment is beyond the break point. The actual break point concentration varies with the quality of raw water. Typically, we can take it as 4 to 10 mg per liter. The desired residual equals to 0.2 mg per liter at a farthest point of distribution system. But however, 0.5 mg per liter of the residual chlorine is objectionable by the consumers. Then Next, we go for another disinfecting agent, ozone. The addition of ozone to the water as a disinfectant, that process is known as ozonation. Ozone is more powerful oxidizing agent than HOCl, that is hypochlorous acid. Ozone inactivates the microorganisms by direct oxidation, that is the decomposition of hydroxyl radicals HO, which are also strong reactants. These are widely used in Europe and increasingly used in US. What are the advantages and disadvantages of this ozonation? It's an excellent disinfectant, doesn't form trihalomethanes and chlorophenols. It requires short contact time. Disadvantages: more costlier than Cl2. It is highly explosive in nature. Disinfection at later stage is not ensured. Means you cannot expect the future contamination in the distribution system is not expected by this ozonation. Chlorine dioxide, ClO2. It's a stronger oxidizing agent than chlorine. It creates long-lasting residual. Again, it is having very good effect on taste and odor, produces few byproducts. It can be used in the form of chlorides and as well as chlorides. It's more expensive than Cl2. Now coming to the physical agent, that is UV radiation. Generally, 200 to 300 nanometer wavelength light is used as a range of disinfection. This radiation is produced by the lamps, that is UV lamps. The low pressure UV lamps will produce 254 nanometer range of light. The medium pressure UV lamps, 210 to 300 nanometer range they will produce. These medium pressure bulbs disinfects more but require more power. Then what are the interferences of this UV radiation? Suppose if the raw water contain more and more amount of suspended particles, then the microorganisms will get shelter in that suspended particles. That is why the disinfection is improper. The microorganisms will not be killed. The short circuiting is taking place. Therefore, when you are planning or trying for UV radiation, we have to ensure that the water should be free from this particulate matter or suspended matter in it. Thanks for watching. If you have any doubts, you can ask. I am happy to answer your queries.